Acquiring skills for accurately attributing numismatic varieties. This video is the fourth in a series of videos which are intended to assist the coin variety collector to acquire the skills necessary to accurately attribute numismatic varieties. Repunched mint marks. Here are some mint marks of the United States mints, past and present. Since the 1800s and up through 1989, the mint marks on U.S. coins have been punched into the working dies. The letters for the mint marks are engraved onto small steel rods and they are called mint mark punches. The engraved end of the mint mark punch would be placed on the desired spot on the working die, and the punch would then be manually hit or tapped with a hammer or a mallet, thus stamping the mint mark into the surface of the working die. Sometimes more than one stamping was required in order to create an appropriate impression in the working die. Repunched mint marks are created when repeated stampings are not perfectly aligned with the original stamping. Primary mint marks are the final result and are punched last and stronger. Secondary mint marks were punched first and are normally weaker. The mint mark punch could be rotated slightly, clockwise or counterclockwise, or it could be tilted to one side or the other, up, down, left, or right. A mint mark can be accidentally stamped in an undesired location on the working die and create a misplaced mint mark, the secondary one, in addition to the main or the primary mint mark. Sometimes working dies were received by one mint branch, like the Denver, from another mint branch, such as the San Francisco, and D mint marks, the primary mint mark, were stamped over S mint marks, and a D over S, or vice versa, an S over D, creating an over mint mark. If a working die has been stamped with mint marks from two different branches of the mint, and neither mint mark is atop the other, this creates a dual mint mark. Repunched mint marks can appear on any denomination of U.S. coins that have mint marks on them. Up through 1989, mint marks were placed on the working dies. In 1986, mint marks on proof and commemorative coins were placed on the master dies. In 1990, mint marks were placed on the master dies instead of the working dies, thus eliminating the creation of repunched mint marks. 1989 was the last year of RPMs. Beginning in 1994, mint marks are placed on the master designs. Here are some mint mark acronyms. These acronyms are used in describing various types of repunched mint marks. Below is how three of the attribution service providers use these acronyms to describe their attributed repunched mint marks. Here is the RPM compass, or the clock. It demonstrates how repunched mint marks are described. They can be described as north or south, or repunched to the east or to the west, and in northeast, southwest, northwest, southeast. They can be described as rotated or as tilted. Tilted RPMs. Tilted describes an RPM where one edge of the punch, typically the north or the south, is tilted into the die so that its opposite edge receives little or no pressure from the blow of the mallet. The result is a letter that is half formed. To complete the mint mark, the punch is then tilted in the opposite direction and receives a second blow of the mallet. Rotated RPMs. Rotated designates an RPM where the secondary image is a result of the punch being rotated or pivoted near the center of the primary image. Thus, the secondary image shows one direction on the upper serif and the opposite direction on the lower serif. Both tilted and rotated RPMs were once described as overlapping, but because the images of most RPMs overlap, this designation was considered imprecise and discarded in modern publications. In summary, we presented a list of mint marks from United States mints past and present, described the method of placing mint marks on coins, described how RPMs occur and various types of RPMs, presented acronyms used in identifying RPMs. We displayed the RPM compass compass, displayed examples of RPMs from the RPM compass, discussed tilted and rotated RPMs, presented examples of inverted and horizontal RPMs.